Hi everyone, I am the man, welcoming you back to the Power Video Gaming Time Tunnel. First, I want to give a special shout out to all my subs and viewers. I haven't done that much promoting because I really wanted to focus on the plays, so when I did decide to pivot to commentary, I didn't come across as just another dude with an emulator. Far from it. I grew up in the world before internet, before cell phones were common. It was a strange time, but we got through it. I remember when YouTube first started. I also remember $3 an hour internet and Scott, you are offline. Those were the days. In any event, there are still many games to come. It just will take more time, because I am transitioning now into some writing projects, and I can tack writing for this channel onto that and have fun putting the videos together. As this is the very first installment, I thought I'd take a moment and tell you all a little bit about myself and my history in gaming. It's quite simple. My father is an engineer, so he was always bringing home some new computing contraption, usually a big metal box with a little screen and no color. We're talking pre-Pentium here. The boondocks of computing. Those primitive days, when even bumping the table could lead to a crash. Atari is responsible for a number of early innovations. One is the idea of putting an entire computer in a keyboard. These primitive-looking units were capable of coding and produced, for the time, state-of-the-art graphics in the home. For a time, they had the market cornered. I'm always surprised Atari didn't hold stronger to that trend. We might have more gaming variety today. This was my first computer, but I wasn't too interested in talking to the computer. What I was interested in was that slot on top. After a brief time living in the country, we moved to a more urban location, with toy stores and more access to games. The library for the 800 is quite impressive. It has all the core games, too many to name. But if you're looking for a system that can deliver that old-school feel and challenge, it's certainly a library to get into. In addition to all the arcade games it plays, there are also a lot of games which were not in arcades, lesser-known titles and floppy disks as well. Those are more rare and tend to glitch. Even new, I had floppy issues. Owning the 800 actually got annoying because as time went on, more kids heard I had this arcade system and a bunch of games. Even when the NES was out, even when the SNES was big, I still had knuckleheads knocking on my door to play freaking Centipede, Defender, Pac-Man, Kong, and all that. Drove me nuts. I remember still somehow when the last 800 controller died, that was it. I still had Zork. No one but me played that. Most early games made use of maybe one or two buttons. Some systems, like Intellivision, sought to make things as complicated as possible, with mixed results. These controllers are crap, and getting all the extra use just kills them. Once one button goes, that's it. Each game has its own cover slip. Innovative, but you end up with a stack of them. Not really my thing. The 800 took a similar approach by using the keyboard as a controller, allowing for more complex and realistic gameplay. One example is Star Raiders. I had this pretty early on, but it took me a while to figure out the controls, and it was from my dad's friend, so there was no instructions. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple. Grid search. You can see the influence on PC gaming. Overall, control has stayed the same. It's the graphics which has evolved more over time. Thankfully, one of my father's bulky computers is where I first discovered what better processing could deliver and what the possibilities for the future would be. I became completely addicted to the flight sim. It's not good graphics, and sound took a while too. It was the idea of the thing, the first-person perspective. The ability to use the keyboard does give you a basic sense of controlling something larger, especially once you master the controls. It's the idea of having hundreds of lives in your hands. This is one genre which has come a long way. A long way. Now it's basically photorealistic and amazing sound. For a while, the arcade world was the place to be. Computers were getting better, and so were the games. For pinball games, too. More animation and interactivity and distraction. I played all the games. At a certain point, the PC market took over and gave us things you just wouldn't get in the arcade. Deeper, more personal experiences. Way better sound and new ways even to play games. Titles like Myst, Seventh Guest, Doom, Shivers, and so many others. Plus all the vehicle sims which emerged. If you could sit in it, there was a game for it. The market was fully saturated and people were buying. I have mainly been a PC gamer. My main interests are vehicle sims and multiplayer shooter. I feel the PC library provides a more complete experience than any console. They are trying to make the consoles more powerful, but all it's really doing is raising the price. Again and again. My game train stops at about Xbox 360, which I consider the end of my generation of gaming. The next generation can have the ultra-real graphics. Even the PS1 couldn't release me from the PC grip. If anything, the unreliable and sometimes broken controls of some games and the generally bland, blotchy character animation just didn't impress me. I remember seeing the controller in the magazine and feeling a bit intimidated, questioning whether it was real. Today, I have more appreciation for the PS1. I have many titles in my library, but these games tend to take longer and can be more challenging. So, I have to pick my battles. Believe it or not, even the PS2, with way better graphics and sound, didn't set my gamer light on fire. It just didn't. During that time, I was having a social life and mainly killing folk in multiplayer military combat, late at night, in the dark. Something I still do. Being on a team, on a virtual battlefield, with explosions and guns come on. It never gets old. Even over primitive dial-up, the online server would not only connect, but I was playing in real time on teams of 10, on huge maps. So, I was a killer-prone sniper. The guy you never see. Yep. No console game could match it, I thought. As fate would have it, something happened, which changed my mind about consoles. Grand Theft Auto. Sure, I played the PS1 overhead, that's cute. But on PS2, it's a whole different world. That game was made just for me. I loved every moment of it, and it's one of my favorite series. I could also play some PS1 games on the 2, so that was cool. I became entranced by the P2. So many great games. What I discovered was that although PC games looked and sounded better, it was easier to play more complex games with the controller, mainly because the buttons are closer together and you can move around with it. More so with the Wii and other motion-sensitive accessories. Next to that was the original Xbox. Bulkier and less reliable than Sony's, it does also boast an impressive library now. It has somewhat better graphics. The games play a little better, but the controller is stupid. These are the two systems I feel are the best because they offer a complete range of gaming experience and you won't go broke. building a library. The other thing, which turned me back to the consoles, is the development of emulation technology, which allows me to build my own personal play library at a level which makes it worth it to do and has enough range to show a wider scope of my gaming interest. The majority of the games I play I have at least some experience with, so I was able to get through the console games without too much trouble. I also have a ton of PC games and plan to do more of those as time permits. Well, that just blew by, didn't it? It was fun to share a brief history of how this channel came to be, and I encourage you all to share your experiences in the comments of my videos. Although this is a gaming channel, I may include a section on movie and TV reviews just for fun. But that will be pretty random, like really random. No politics, no religion, no personal problems. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again to all my listeners. Don't forget to hit that like and sub button, and if you did already, bless your heart. Until next time, I am the man, inviting you back to the Power Video Gaming Time Tunnel.